So as you can see, this blank is 22 millimeters wide and height is almost 18 millimeters. So I'm here at the disc sander and I'm just going to sand the sides down to where it's square all the way around first before we start drilling out our blank. Okay, I got this squared off and we're going to drill this out. We're going to start out with a 1/2 inch, but ultimately we're ending up at 19/32 of an inch, which is the diameter of the ebonite. And to save some time, I turned this off camera. This is already drilled out, and this is turned down to 19/32 here. So we're just going to drill this out right here. And if you want to know how I made this, you can see a different video I'll link in description on cap and body sleeves, or ebonite cap and body sleeves, so you can see how I did this, just to save some time. Otherwise it gets really repetitive. And I like using the 4-jaw chuck because it supports the blank all the way around on all sides. Okay, so in the process of drilling this out, came across a little bit of a problem. These right here on the very ends kind of loosened up a little bit, and I lost this one over here. This one broke out, but I was able to put it back in a little bit, but some of it is missing. And obviously you can see how that pushed its way out like that. So I'm going to have to add a little more resin. There's always a way around stuff like this. So unfortunately, things happen and it just takes a little longer than expected. So I applied some of that resin in there, and on both sides, filled that in. It looks like it's a little bit lighter than this over here, but then again, I did put some CA glue over the whole thing in hopes of filling in those cracks a little bit more and making it adhere to the wood a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead and sand that down next, and then we'll get it back down to the wood and the keys, and we'll see what that looks like. So you can see it's a little bit different color. It's a little bit lighter than I would have liked, but sometimes you just got to roll with it and see how things go. This is virtually uncharted territory for me, so anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and finish, turn this down. While I sanded that off, I took the liberty of sanding those corners all the way around. And then something also different about this particular pen is this one's going to be a rollerball, not a fountain pen. So we're going to be making the section, even though this is drilled out for a fountain pen nib, I changed my mind because my wife wants something that's a little bit softer than the last pen I made, softer looking, so not quite as harsh. So I'm making this one for her, and anyway, that's why I'm using the colored resin on the inside and the green ebonite, teal green ebonite, which should look really good. Or not a teal green, it's like a blue green ebonite. And anyway, this should make a really nice rollerball pen. You'll notice I didn't put any brass before and after because she's not a fan of brass. And because of that also, it's not going to have a clip. So it's going to be a little bit of a redesign from what I'm used to making. So we'll show you what that looks like in a couple minutes. So I'm going to be making a roller ball like this right here, roller ball section, and maybe a little bit shorter on this front part right here. But as you can see, if this was in here like this is still a pretty long section once this is screwed into the body like that. So being that this is about 2 inches long, and if that cap is seated all the way like that, that is still significantly longer than this is right here. So to get around that, previously I've taken some Purple Heart, and this is cut long grain, and this is the same diameter as this is right here, and then that will just slide over on top, and then I'll cut another piece of Purple Heart and put, or excuse me, ebonite, and put right over on top of that. And that should accommodate that cap and body nicely. So or the cap to the body with the section, so that should fit inside there without any problem, as long as I start my last piece right here, the cap, over that Purple Heart. And the Purple Heart will complement the butterflies and will give those nice colors that will really make this pin really stand out in the future. And we'll go ahead and start that part next. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, we're getting this together here. Like I said earlier, I'm not putting any brass accents on here. This is ready to go. I've got this little tenon which is going to be covered up with this Purple Heart ring to accommodate that roller ball. And then I made this off camera, and it's basically a tenon cap that's step drilled on the inside to accommodate that ink. And this is drilled out. I think I used an 11/32 on the inside right here. This is turned down to a 33/64, which is the inside dimension of this ebonite right here. So that's going to go on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and screw this on, then we'll glue it together. And we'll let that set overnight. Put that down again. Again, this is just Gorilla Super Glue. Put that under some tension, and then we'll let that cure overnight and come back into it in a day or so. Okay, it's the following day. This is dry. I'm getting ready to turn this down. And I'm going to turn this down to the same diameter as this, which is about 17.5 millimeters. So I have my other caliper set for that. As you can see, so that's going to start from this side here. This is the side that goes towards the body, and this is the top where the clip would be, but I'm going to part that off probably about 1/8 of an inch lower than that right there. So it'll be Purple Heart and then about 1/8 of an inch of the ebonite on the top of the cap. And this is just going to be a straight turning just like this, but obviously it's going to have the green infill for the river. So we're going to use carbide on this one, and then because this is a combination of both acrylic and wood and ebonite, so carbide will work better in this instance. So I stopped the video real quick. I wanted to check and see what this looks like, and I wanted to pull this a little further out so I'm not so close to this, so I can have plenty of room to turn. And I want to inspect the blank, see if there's any cracks or voids before I go along. And I only see one little crack here. So what I want to do before I do anything else is I want to flood the blank with some more CA, make sure it's got plenty of glue, some good adhesion all the way around, fill in any gaps, hit it with some accelerator, and then I'll start again. And this is the brand that I use, and you can get this at Rockler. Amazon even has it if you don't have a Rockler next to you, or you can probably find it on any of the other woodworking sites, or like Penn State Industries or whatever places that sell pen kits. Like I said, I want to make sure I flood that really good. So let that set for a second. This is the accelerator I use that comes with it. Well, it doesn't come with it, but you buy it to work with it. And you can see how fast that works if you've never used it. Again, very important, put some of this stuff down, an old rag, an old sock, whichever. Protect your tools from that mess. So I did that. So those holes are filled. Doesn't look very good. Unfortunately, I should have done a better job at cutting the dovetail slots out, or the keys, butterfly key slots. So, but anyway, you know, being that this is a prototype pen and not for sale, I guess I learned quite a bit from it so far just on the cap, but I'm going to just push forward all the way through so I can see what it looks like, and then we'll remake it again. So far I've got the cap to the shape that I wanted. I just rough sanded it to 220 and 320. I still need to go through all the grits, and then I'll put some more CA glue on this right here, and then we'll wet sand it and see what that looks like, and then we'll come back when that is done. Being that this is just a tutorial on making the cap, not doing all the polishing and finishing, otherwise it would just be way too long of a video. I put on a few coats of CA thin and accelerator, and that is starting to look pretty good. Let me zoom in a bit. So other than the definition of the dovetail keys, if you can look past that, then it looks pretty good. Even with the variation of color here with the purple blue. It really doesn't take away from it. It actually looks, because the variation of color here and there, it still looks really good. This actually matches the top part, and this part here didn't break away, only this part did. So what do you think? It looks pretty good so far. Now remember, this is not wet sanded yet, so it still has some ridges on it from the CA glue, and I used some accelerator on that, but I'm going to wait till I wet sand that for a day, because I want that to cure really good all the way through. But that cutting board that I used, that Italian olive wood that I got from the home goods store, that is a really beautiful wood, and it looks really good on this, so I'm pretty pleased so far. We'll come back when we're done. So just finished wet sanding this with micro mesh, and I think it came out pretty good, other than the little mishaps we had on the bottom with the dovetail keys, or butterfly keys rather. This is going to look really nice, and I really love the color here on the inside. That really looks great, and the Purple Heart really does look good with that. Let's unscrew that real quick. And initially I put this in the lathe, I reverse chucked it, I wet sanded the rim on the inside, so that's finished, and then I screwed it on without that in there, obviously. I did that the first time, and then I finished that. So anyway, yeah, that looks really good. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video clip. Leave me some comments and let me know if you like the design of this and the colors. Have a good day. Hey, this is Gabriel Castro. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. You can click on the link right here and subscribe. You can watch a video series right here, or the latest video right here.